today we are taking notes on dilations. Someone want to go up to the board and erase the blue equations? Thank you. All the blue ones. Okay, so my essential question is what is a dilation, a scale factor, and center of dilation? And how do I create one? Okay, so a dilation is a transformation that makes a shape bigger or smaller.
Good morning, warrior.
Okay, so I was gonna color in the triangles to show you what's being made bigger. Because I know with all the lines it can kind of get confusing. So in this example, the little tiny triangle was made into the bigger triangle. Okay, so then what do you guys think a center of dilation does? It's the point where you start your dilation. So in this picture, my center of dilation is the letter C, or the point C. This is an ugly arrowhead. There we go. Because I want you to pay attention to notes? Then why'd you ask for a worry time pass? Okay, then the scale factor, you guys remember what that was from yesterday? It's how much bigger or smaller? Okay. Then there's the scale factor. This is commonly referred to by the letter K. So when K is larger than 1, it's an enlargement. That means it makes the picture bigger. When K is less than 1, it's a reduction. That means it makes it smaller. When K is exactly 1, it stays the same. Just like when you multiply a number by 1, it stays the same. Okay. And then if K is negative, you want to do the opposite. So go in the opposite direction. Okay, and then the formula for finding your scale factor is the new triangle or shape divided by the old. Mario, are you taking notes? Taking notes? You got a hot Cheeto in one hand and your phone in the other. Okay. So questions on what any of these things mean. So basically this is saying if my scale factor is larger than 1, it makes it bigger. And if it's smaller than 1, so a fraction or a decimal, it makes the picture smaller. 1, the picture stays the same. And then if it's negative, I did not mean to hit the projector. It flips over and gets bigger or smaller depending on the scale factor. Whose music? Okay, So if I take a look at number 1, which of these triangles is the new one? Is it the big one or the small one? And how can I tell? Yeah? It's the big one because it has the prime on it. So I'm going to do 12 on top and then 8 on bottom. I want to leave it as a fraction, but I want to simplify it. As an improper. So both 12 and 8 can be divided by 4. So 12 divided by 4 is 3. 8 divided by 4 is 2. And then is this an enlargement or a reduction? Is it getting bigger or smaller? Bigger, so it's an enlargement. Okay, what about number 2? Which one's the new one? The little one, so I'm going to do 18 on top and 30 on bottom. What number divides both 18 and 30? 6. So 18 divided by 6 is 3 and 5. And this one is an enlargement or a reduction? Reduction. It's getting smaller. Can I move on? Okay. So this one is giving me one on a coordinate plane. When it tells me what triangle I'm going from, the first one is always my old, my second one is my new. I'm still teaching. With that kind of attitude you are. Okay, so this one wants me to find the scale factor still. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to connect these. I only have to do it for one point. So I was going from my center of dilation to my H. My old point was how far away? 3. And my new point is how far away? 1. So remember the formula for my scale factor was new over old. So 1/3. And then was this getting bigger or smaller? I went from HEF to GCD. Smaller, so this is a reduction. Okay. Then I can do the same thing over here on number 4. I'm going to pick the up and down point just because that's easier to count. But you could do this with your slopes for the other one. So the bigger triangle is my old. How many squares down was that? 4. And then how many squares down was C? 2. So my fraction, which one goes on top? So I have 2 over 4. Should I leave it like that? No, it simplifies to what? 1 over 2. And then this is a reduction or an enlargement? Reduction. I can tell if I look at my number and if it's less than 1 as well. Okay, questions there? The center of dilation is where all the lines meet. So what I want to do on this first one is I want to go ahead and connect my matching sides up. Oh, I didn't draw this one quite straight. Okay, so where's the point where all 3 lines meet up on this one? It's right here. Oh. So what's the coordinate point right there? Coordinate point. It's, remember, go 2, 4. Okay, and then I want to figure out my scale factor. So HFE was the old. So how many down was it from my center of dilation to H? 3. And then GCD was the new. So how many down was that? 1. So my scale factor here is 1 over 3, and this is a reduction. So then I want to do the same thing on number 2. I'm going to connect all these points. Okay, so where is my center here? What's this coordinate point? 3, 0. And then I want to find my scale factor. I can choose any of the 3 lines, but I am going to pick the straight up and down because that's easier to count. So HFE is my old and GCD is my new. So I'm going to start right here. How many is it from F to the center of dilation? 2. And then how many is it from C to my center of dilation? 7. So what is my fraction here? No, because you always do new over old. 7 over 2. And did it get bigger or smaller? Bigger, so it's, what's the word for that? Enlargement. Can I move on? Okay. So the hint, that should be an H that's cut off, is to change percents to decibels. So this one has a dilation of -2. I'm going to start with H and O because it's the straight up and down one. How many is it normally? 2. It wants a dilation of -2. So that means go backwards on the line and double it. So now instead of going up 2, I'm going to go down 4 for my new H. So then I'm going to do the same thing for E and F. They're on the same line. So how far away is E? It's over 1, up 1. So then I want to go, instead of going up more, I'm going to go down the line. So I'm going to go down 2, over 2. And then F is right 2, up 2. So then how many do I want to go down and left? 4. So okay, once I have my new letters, I want to do what? Connect them. We'll do that. So notice with the negative dilation, it flipped it upside down. So then on the second one, when it tells me it has a dilation of 25%, this is the same thing as 0.25. So I'm going to start off with H again and not move my paper so much. So originally, how far away is it? 4. So I want to find 0.25 times 4. So if I have 4 quarters, how much money do I have? $1. So now I'm going to move 1 away from my new H. Prime. Okay, then I want to do the same thing. I'll do E because E is it's straight across and it's not. How far away was E? Double check because the O was at 1. 4. So how far away is my new E? I remember I'm multiplying by 0.25. So 1. And then my F. It's 4 to the right, and it's also 4 up. So the new one is 1 to the right and 1 up. That's F. Okay, and then I just connect my 3 points to make the new triangle. Questions there? This one wants a dilation of 50%, so what is that as a decimal? What? 0.5. Okay, so then I want to draw my lines. I'm going to start with H, because that one's straight across. So how far away is H from O? 8. So 8 times 0.5 is 4. So this is where my new H is. Okay, I'm gonna do F next. So F is 4 to the left and 1 up. So my new F is gonna be how far away? 2 to the left and then half up. That F prime looks terrible, I'm sorry. Okay, and then I'm going to do the same thing for E. So E is originally 2 down and 4 to the left. So how much is the new E going to be? So half of that, so it's going to be 1 down and 2 to the left. And then I want to connect my points to make my new triangle. Okay. Next one says it wants a dilation of 300%. What is that as a number? 3. So I'm going to multiply everything's scale factor by 3. I'm going to start off with H because it's the straight up and down one. So H is normally 1 away. So my new H is going to be how far away? 3. Okay, then I'm going to do my F. So originally it's 1 to the right, 2 up. Okay. Then I'm going to do the same thing for my point E. So this one is originally 2 to the right and 1 up. So my new point is going to be off the paper. Yeah, 6. Not 1, 2. What? 3. We're multiplying by 3 here. Okay, and then once I have my 3 points, I just want to connect them. Okay, so questions when it gives me percents. Can I move on? Okay. On the back side, I'm going to say we're going to do a scale factor of 2. And our center point is going to be, or center of dilation is going to be 0, 0. So, so I'm going to start with C because it's the straight across one. So originally it was 3 away. Now it's going to be 6 away. And then while I'm at it, I'm also going to write my new coordinate point for C off to the side. What's the new coordinate point over here? Other way around. Let's do A next. So originally A is how far away? So it's over 1 and up 1. So my new A is going to double that. So it's going to be over 2, up 2. What's my new coordinate point? 2, 2. Okay, and then I'm going to do the same thing for B. So originally it's 3 over and 2 up. So my new B is going to be how much over? 6 and 4. And my new coordinate point is 6, 4. And then I just want to connect to make my triangle. Okay, so if I'm just using the coordinate points for my dilation, if I start off with the point x, y, then I would take my x value and my y value and multiply by what my k value was, my scale factor. Because notice my original point for A was 1, 1, and I multiplied by 2 for each of those points to turn it into 2, 2. C was 3, 0, and I multiplied by 2 to turn it into 6, 0. And B was 3, 2, and times 2 turned it into 6, 4. Okay, so I'm going to use the coordinate rule to find the new points. I'm going to write this rule as 2x, 2y. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take each of those points and double them. So my new A prime is going to be, I'm going to take each of the coordinate points and multiply them by 2. 2, 2. My B is going to be, and my C. Okay. So questions, giving points, and using that formula. Okay. The next one I'm going to do with a scale factor of 2/5, which is what as a decimal? Point 4. Okay, so if I was doing 2/5, then I'm going to have x, y, and my new formula is going to be 2/5 x, 2/5 y. So I'm going to start by graphing these 3 points it's given me. It's got 5, -5, 10, -5, and 10, +5. R. Okay, what are my new points going to be? So what's 2/5 times 5 and 2/5 times -5? Or I can do 0.4 times 5. Does anyone have an answer? So I want to do these one at a time. So 2/5 times 5. What's 2 times 5? Divided by 5? 2. And then I want to do this one. So what's 2 times -5? -10 divided by 5? Okay, so that's my new P. Is 2 -2. I'm going to do the same thing for Q. So then I have 2 times 10. 20 divided by 5. 4. And then for the second one, I have 2 times -5. -10 divided by 5? No. -2. Because it was 10, not 20. Okay. And then finally I have the same thing for R. So I have 2/5 times 10. And then my other point is 2/5 times 5. So for my first point, I have 2 times 10, 20 divided by 5. Okay, and then the second point, I have 2 times 5, 10 divided by 5, 2. So then I just have to connect my points. So this is another way I could do it without drawing all those lines. But it only works when my center of dilation is at 0, 0. So, questions here?